Electricast.
There are people out there all across the country pushing boundaries to grow the game of golf. Like champion speed golfer Lauren Cupp, who plays faster than anyone else. And Will Lowry, whose work in the golf community inspires more kids to get into the game. As a champion partner of the Masters, Bank of America supports everyone determined to find out what's possible. In golf and in life. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America. Bank of America N.A. member FDIC, copyright 2025, Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
The kids are still at practice, and I have no idea what's for dinner.
You can get a rotisserie chicken and 2 sides for just $15 in as fast as an hour with Walmart Express Delivery.
Who said that? Who's in my house? Don't play with me, because I'm not the one.
It's just your friendly Walmart announcer. This is a commercial.
Oh, okay. You were saying dinner for a family was just $15?
Yep, it'll be at your door by the time you get the kids home from practice. Order now. Welcome to your Walmart. Subject to availability, restrictions and fees apply.
Now that was a helpful commercial.
Welcome to Missing the Point. I am Hollywood Rayshawn Buchanan with my guy, Marcangelo. He's got the green on for those that, the green and white for those that's watching on the YouTube. So at least he must be in a decent mood about his and it's Larry Legend at that. So man, what a start there. So the Celtics are your Boston Celtics are now up 2-0. Once again, they have beaten the Game 2 allegations. They can't win a Game 2. They just don't learn. They'll never learn. Well, back-to-back series, they're up 2-0. Once again, Game 1 obviously was in convincing fashion. Game 2 was much closer, but in the end, and I whisper, in a clutch time situation, they figured it out. So the floor is yours. Angelo, they found a way to get up 2-0. So just what has this team showed you thus far in the NBA Finals?
Well, it showed me that alongside every national pundit, I was wrong. Didn't matter about the road to get here, right? Everyone was saying, they haven't really been tested yet. Let's see what happens. The Mavs are going to be the first big test. And in 2 games, they have won in, I would say, decisive fashion, just differently. They shot terribly from 3 in Game 2. Mm-hmm. And that is a game. Game 2 is a game that every season before this one, they lose. They just try and shoot them way out of it. They don't go to they don't take any shots in the paint. They don't go to the rim. It's no team ball. It's all ISO, and we've seen it. But this iteration of the Celtics is different. Like the key to that is we didn't have Jrue Holiday before, and Mr. Jrue Holiday ain't gonna let that happen. He is going to will it to a victory, or he's gonna die trying. I firmly believe that. He is every bit of a calming influence and a leader on the floor that Marcus Smart wishes he could be, and he will not be, because Jrue doesn't need all the limelight, right? He sets the tone on defense first. Like he's gonna cook if in the first 10 possessions he's disrupting the point guard, and that's what he's been doing this entire series. And that's how but you never have to question whether he's engaged or not. But when you know that he's gonna get more than 24 points or whatever, you can just tell. And the Celtics this year are, what are they? They're 24-1 when Jrue scores more than 24 points. Like that, the stats just speak for itself there. So I couldn't be happier about where we are. I still am. I don't know if you can sense it though, Ray. I still get a little bit of that. But this team, they've let me down before.
Yeah, no, I mean the PTSD is real, and I get it, and it's valid. But as you and I being 2 of the 3 resident wrestling fans here, and I'll say it again next week. If and when they win, with a tear in my eye, this is the greatest day of my life, because we've 50% converted you, and that's all I wanted. I just wanted to convert you, because I wanted you guys to see what I saw all year. And I want to be clear. This team is 2 wins away. Let's say if they sweep them, right? They're 2 wins away from going 80-20 this year. 80-20. I want to put that in perspective. Hey, 80% of their games they would have won if they ended up winning on Friday. I said we'll get to the particulars as the show goes on, but they've won 9 in a row since their season ended in Game 2 against Cleveland. 9 in a row. Like, that's unfucking real. Since we're now recording this on June 10th. That Game 2 was May 9th. Since May 9th, they haven't lost. And this is something I've talked about with you. I've talked about with Dave. I've talked about it in group chats with different friends. We talked about it in our respective Discord chat. Whenever they have had a bad loss all season, once again, this particular team, not last year, not 2 years before, not 7 years ago, this current season, this iteration, this version, whatever word you want to use, they've always responded. Every time the Lakers lost, they ended up winning 10 in a row. the Atlanta Hawks game, you was getting on me for being Mr. Sunshine and Rainbows. I'm like, listen, they don't care about this. They've won the regular season. Like they're number 1 seed. They finished out the regular season pretty well. Like this is what this team has done, and I'm glad that they responded. And to answer my question that I've asked, what they've shown, they're showing maturity. That's what they're showing. Because, like you said, you crystallized it perfectly in your opening statement. This game, and especially in Game 2, is a game in years past, not even just to last year. In years past, they would have lost. It might have lost by 20, because whenever the shot's not falling, and we've said it to each other in the group chat, we've said it on Twitter, we've said it everywhere. We have seen them quit when the shot's not falling. That's not an opinion. That's a fact. We have seen them quit on each other, and just play hero ball, right? We've seen it. But now they're saying, hey, listen, it's whatever it takes. That's been the motto. I know the thing has been different here. It's been the slogan for the playoffs, but it really is whatever it takes. And like I said, Holiday is at the helm of that. Like I said, we'll get into him a little bit more shortly. But yeah, like I said, I'm most proud of the maturity in key situations, because once again, that is something where people have harped on, because it's like when people keep seeing one thing, they think that it's a repeated pattern. So it's like, oh, it's a pattern of behavior. It's going to happen. It's going to keep happening. So when they start showing you other behavior, you're like, well, yeah, it's happening. But, well, right now, once again, we're not putting the cart before the horse, but right now, we gotta kill that noise for the moment, because they've responded. And like I say, it starts with the champion, Jrue Holiday. So I'll just get right into him, because like I say, he was the man last night. Once again, didn't have a great offensive output in Game 1. I think he had 12 points, five assists, and like 3 rebounds, but made some timely shots right in Game 1. That's he's on playoffs. Then was the leading scorer last night. In Game 2, having 26, had 17 in the first half, hit a few threes where the offense was as bad as Stephen A's hairline. Like it was awful. And they found a way to get the job done. He was leading that. So just speak to his continued impact, and just how he's really saved his best moments for this postseason.
Yeah, I mean, I think I said it the last time I was on with you and DK, right? But it's like throughout the entirety of the season, people that didn't watch the Celtics all night in, night out like we all do, we're saying, what happened to Jrue? Like, did he fall off a cliff? Where's his offensive production? And now it's just like, nah, dude, he didn't need it. He did it when we needed him to do it, but he was a lockdown defender all year. That's all he was. And I think the biggest, you can feel his presence most on the court by how others respond, because we've seen this. This ain't the first time in the NBA Finals that Jayson Tatum is shooting below 35% from the field. Right. It isn't. Last time, though, he was jacking up shots. Why? Because Marcus was.
Right.
That was the leader, quote unquote, of the team. Right. Most playoff wins without a championship in Celtics history is Marcus Smart. Remember that. So Tatum and Brown were following their leader. This time, their leader on the court is a guy who actually has won a championship. And you can see how good he is by how he facilitates the ball. And he doesn't always get the assist, because sometimes he's the second pass, right? He's the guy that sets up the assist. But it's so clear, man. Like, he never loses his cool when it appears that he's gonna get beat to the hoop. He blocks him, or he just stands in front of the guy and makes Kyrie or Luka think twice, hesitate, and it's just there. And I think you had written down like his Mr. Calm. That's 100% right. Like, he's a lot like Belichick in the sense, like, post-game press conference, if you didn't watch the game, you would have no fucking clue if they won or lost.
Right.
No clue. Because the job's not done yet. Like, he's not celebrating anything.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing. And it's like, we talked about it a little bit earlier, but yeah, he's calmed the storm. And for him, I said, he hit some time to shots as far as threes, in the first half and second half. But the biggest thing with him, and whether you want to talk about Smart, you talk about even with Kemba to an extent, even with Kyrie too, because like Kyrie's good off the ball, but because he's so good with his handles, he's more effective when he has the ball. So fine, we
I feel like we never really got the real Kemba though, right? Like,
yeah, no, that's fair. But I mean, even like his strength too was, I'm gonna dance with you, and then I'm gonna drop 40 on you. Like that was
right.
his strength. So that was, respectfully, that's what Jayson and Jaylen were used to their first 3 or 4 years of their career, playing with a ball dominant guard. And yes, they get there with Smart, once again, defensively, made a lot of great plays. I'm not going to sit here and have revisionist history and act like he didn't make a lot of great plays defensively, because he did. But offensively, it was always a mystery. And that's not an opinion. That's just the truth, right? Didn't make timely shots at times, but they were too few and far between, right? But the biggest difference that we've seen this year is that, when you need Holiday to move around and space out, so whether it's a corner three, whether it's, like you see last night, Tatum getting double, triple teamed, and he notices that the guys are coming over to Tatum, he immediately runs to the middle. Tatum, to his credit, catches that he's moving to the middle, dumps it off. It's it's a layup. But what I thought was the most important play last night, or one of the most important plays, last night was, I forget who shot the jump shot, but they missed it. It might have been Derek White had shot a three, missed it. Holiday got the rebound. Holiday could have went up and got another basket. He knows that's IQ, right? He knows that Tatum is struggling. He dumps it off to Tatum. Tatum gets an and one. Tatum gets going after that. Starts going to the basket. Yep. And it's like, that's what a great teammate does, right? We heard the audio with Jaylen Brown talking about, your big dudes, tell him stop playing with you. Holiday may not be as vocal. Maybe he's more vocal behind the scenes, but on the court, it's like, nah, I noticed that my guy is not getting the touches he needs offensively. Let me get him an easy one. And that's exactly what he did. And it got him going, got the crowd back into it. And they went on like a 10-0 run right after that. And immediately, last year, Luka and them would have took the lead. Luka would have hit, because he was on. Listen, the crowd, I don't know how it sounded on TV, but when you kept hearing Eddie Palladino saying, Luka Doncic for three, Luka Doncic, it was just like, oh, okay, here we go. And I'm just like, it's one of them nights. And then, they ended up, obviously, catching on. But I was like, woof. It was early on. I was like, boy, he might get 50. It's like,
no, but if this is
like, we've seen it. We've seen it from them.
This was last year, right? Again, I want to focus more on this year's team. But if this was last year, and the struggles that we were seeing happening early on in the game, because again, from within the first 10 minutes of game 2, if that had happened last year, it would have been an L. They just would have stopped. Like, you would have been able to know. Defensively, though, you would have seen just switch. It doesn't happen that much now. It's like, no, Jrue's like, nah, I'm just gonna lock him down. Like, Luka's gonna get his 40 points, but it's gonna take him 8 more shots to do it. And I'm gonna make sure of it. And he makes him work for it. I mean, there's a reason why Luka is gassed in the third quarter.
Right. Exactly.
That's not an accident.
Yep. No, that's fair. But that's the thing. It's like, and once again, I thought about you Well, I mean, I think about you. You know, you're my guy, but I definitely thought about you yesterday because
That's some real love shit right there.
it is. But what you had said about our guy Tatum and even or any player that does this, but look what Luka did this last night. He went ballistic in the first half, and for those that listen to us faithfully, thank you. But y'all heard Mike say, when it's gut check time, when it's crunch time, can you show up then? What he had 31 for the game. So let's see, quick math. So he had 23 in the first half. He had 8 in the second half. He disappeared.
Right.
Was, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, and obviously, like I said, Kyrie's been on, the stock exchange island. And enjoy your stay. Like that's where he's been. He's been he's been there, and he's on the resort, and it's all paid exclusive at this moment. all things it's crazy.
Like, I think just the difference in philosophy. I feel like I want to give Joe credit, but I feel like it doesn't happen if they don't have Jrue, right? Because again, previous iterations of this team would say, well, we're not going to let Luka and Kyrie beat us. Right. Only one of them is going to beat us, and then we're going to figure it out. And when one of them would go off, they would fall apart. This team's like, nah, let them both. They're both going to have to work for it, right? But I truly believe, and I could be wrong, so tell me if I am, please, that the Celtics team prepared for Luka and Kyrie to combine for 70 points a game. And this Celtics team could still beat them. Because their 2 ain't better than our 6.
Right. And so, okay, so boom, honestly, we can end the show on that right there. Like, pack them up and all that. I'm lost for words because it's fucking beautiful. That's exactly what it is. I said it last week. I'll say it again, and I'll keep saying it until he shows me. Like, Derrick Jones in this series is unplayable. He's unplayable. Daniel Gafford is starting to become unplayable. Once again, these guys were tearing up OKC. They were tearing up Minnesota, with Gobert and Towns. They have not had an answer. And, Lively looked lost out there. He played a little bit better in game 2. Really cool behind the scenes because he was cool on the court, but it's just like, the moment just looks too big for him right now. Like, and I get it.
But he is a rookie. Right.
Correct. But I'm saying, like, I just feel like, and once again, just goes back to what I said on the last show with Dave. And this is what I'm saying. Channing Frye. And I wish, because I was this close, because I ended up saying hello to Richard Jefferson, and Richard Jefferson is on that show. And I couldn't, he can only say what up to me because they had to go on the tape. But I wanted to be like, yo, your boy was out of line to say that Derek Lively was better than Kristaps Porzingis. I thought that's why I said, what type of dope was he smoking? Because,
well, I mean, in those 38 days that KP was out, he played better than KP did. That's about it.
Sure, but it goes back to that's prison. It's the prisoner of the moment stuff, and it's like, yo, had Lively played well, absolutely. But to say that you would have taken him over Kristaps Porzingis, and you saw immediately game 1, and once again, we'll do our dive on him. Later on in the show, but it was hunting season. Like, Craig, that needs to be a new t-shirt. We need to get that on mtpshow.com, so make sure you subscribe on there. But like, that it's hunting season. That's the new thing. It's like it was current. It was a wrap. So I don't know. I mean, but I wanted to go back to your point about you saying a little bit about Joe. I think Joe's been coaching his ass off. I really do. From the timeouts, from the rotations finally shrinking and not letting certain people be in the lineups, not treating it like a fucking regular season game. He's finally doing what he's supposed to do as a coach. And I don't know if it's like, because, with Charles Lee in his ear, Cassell in his ear, I don't know. I don't care I don't care if the ghost of Red Auerbach is in his ear. I don't care. I am just happy to see him taking the reins. And I hope that they get this done, because I want all the Ime talk to stop. It's been 2 years. It's over. It's done. He's gone. It's gone. And once again, if Joe wins with this, we should never hear another Ime Udoka comment again.
No, we should probably give Nia Long a ring. I do
I,
think
I would love that, and I would love to personally deliver it to her.
I'm sure you would. I'm sure
Yeah.
you would, right?
Come on.
But like the difference between, again, just to highlight how good Jrue is. There was a shot in game 2 on a timeout where Missoula was listening to Jrue talking about the plays ahead, right? And every single time Jrue spoke, Joe would say, "That's right. That's right. Yep, you're right. You're right." As opposed to last year, again, remember when like Marcus would sit in Joe's seat and try to lead the team and tell them what to do, and you could just see Joe like kind of doing his little wincing face. The buy-in here is, I think Jrue Holiday knows the situation that that Missoula is in. I think that it helps that Holiday, has obviously won a championship, and he's not out there trying to be the coach. He's out there trying to be the voice of the coach for the coach, and the team's buying in. Like you cannot look at this team, even their two losses so far, 14-2 so far in the playoffs. I mean, they're buying in. They're not abandoning the game plan. And his timeouts, in game 2 to stop runs, that's the best he's ever been. That's the best.
Yeah, and that's what we've been clamoring for. And even like in game 1, right? Like, so the game was 72-64 in game 1. Dallas is going on a nice little run. They're going crazy. He called a timeout, I guess, to 8. They immediately go on a 14-0 run. He comes back to 22. Like if that's not a crystallizing moment,
Right.
once again, every playoff run you have a few moments. Like the first one was the Holiday steal in game 3 against Indiana. Then you have the pass from Brown to Derek White to seal the deal in game 4 against Indiana, and then the Hawk calling that timeout. Even I remember even back in the day, even when we beat LA, and I remember Doc Rivers, he couldn't even run out there, but he was out there. Then Mitch Flynn out there to call a timeout. And then, he made a great play. Ray Allen hit a shot, and that game was over. But it was just like, okay, like that's what we need to see. Like you need to see those moments, because once again, yes, it's good to allow them to figure it out. And now we see why he's saying he allowed them to figure it out, because everything can't be saved by a timeout. You have to kind of play through it. But find that balance. And now he's finding that balance. And the more balance he finds, the better off this team will be. I don't know if it was like CLNS or MSC Sports Boston that had the footage, but to hear what he was saying to them in the huddle about staying the course, playing defense, remember your defensive principles, like it's the most confident he's ever sounded.
Right. And like the opposite of whatever he would say last year.
Right. Just like, it was more of like the "oh shucks, come on, guys" type thing last year. And once again, he was figuring it out. Right? He's ready for this moment. Like he's ready for this moment. And once again, yes, it is, because we could say, oh, it's the team he has. There's a lot of teams that have had talented rosters that haven't come close to what you're seeing this year from this team. If they seal the deal, this is an all-time team. Like there's no disputing that. You can say whatever you want. Once again, you can talk about the path. You can talk. They have ran through the NBA. Ran through. Like
it would be a top 3 modern Celtics championship team if they do it. Right? I mean, I still think 86 is probably the best team that we never saw, because we weren't alive yet, but that tape would show us. I think the way that they won differently than 84 and 81, obviously. 08 will always hold a special place in my heart, because it was the first one that we were alive for.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But like then there's a discussion like 08, 86, 24.
Mm-hmm.
Like if they do it,
right?
Those are 3 teams that literally showed the entire league who they were from the jump and proved people like me wrong.
And and once again, you and many others have probably never been happier to be wrong. That's great. Like that's the position we want to be in. We want to be happy to be wrong.
I really don't like being wrong.
We don't want. Yeah, but I'm like, as a fan,
Yeah.
who wants to be the agitator, but as a fan, we're happy to see, them succeed at this level. But
Also, before you move on, though, can I
actually,
just
I'll
say
put it right there. But yeah, keep going.
I've never seen you happier to be right because that if you were wrong, and there's still 2 games left, or at least
Right.
2 more wins. It's not over. But it looks like right now, based on the way that they played, that this is going to be a series that should go in Boston's favor, right? If you would have had to have done uh, one of those autopsies after the season
Mhm.
because they just didn't show up,
Right.
I couldn't imagine it. I couldn't imagine how you would do it.
Well, I mean, listen, for it would have been. I guess it probably wouldn't be. Well, actually, it would be bad now because they're up 2-0. So blow it
Be
too
real
early.
bad now.
Blow it too early would be crazy. But probably would have had an aneurysm had we lost to Miami. But I'm just being honest. Like there's no other way to there's no other way to say it. Like would have had an aneurysm like on site
On the air.
on the air. Like just like there wouldn't have been enough bleep words on the clips for Craig. Like it just wouldn't have been it. It would just there's no clips would have been made because every other word would have been do. Like it just would have been ridiculous. That being said, it goes back to the season opener show that me and Dave did. And I brought up when we got the addition of Holiday, what Porzingis could be. And I was like, yo, at the best, if Porzingis could be like a Bill Bolton type, coming here, that's a steal because that team was 67-15 and they won convincingly, right? And even with Holiday, I compared him to a guy that we never saw play because he played before we were born, but Dennis Johnson.
Yeah.
Holiday to me is the modern day Dennis Johnson. Someone that's going to get you 14 to 17 points, can get you 6 to 8 assists a night, is going to play a lockdown defense. And they got Dennis Johnson in the trade. He won a championship in Seattle. And once again, for the older fan base that listens to us, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm not reading off the sheet because I have it in my head, thankfully. But he won a championship with Seattle with downtown Freddie Brown and Jack Sigma back in the day. We get swept by the Milwaukee Bucks in 1983, even after winning a championship and then losing to Philadelphia in 7 and 82. So they were kind of on the back and forth. And then Red Auerbach makes the trade for Dennis Johnson, and to pair him with Ainge, Bird, McHale, and Parrish, and they have a hell of a starting 5, and that team goes to 4 straight finals. So hopefully that could be a run that we see here where they go to 4 straight. Now that team only won 2, but I think that mainly because of the injuries to McHale, that probably would have been 3 out of 4 had they won or had he been healthy, in my opinion. But
and Bill in 87.
Right, Billy's right, exactly, correct. So it's just like, everything was just more of a perfect storm in 86, and that's why they ended up winning. And once again, this is why my stance had changed so much because it is so hard, one, to get to the finals. So forget about winning it. Just getting there is hard. But getting there and then winning it, regardless of opponent. Once again, we know about the 86 Celtics. That Rockets team was not who they wanted to face.
No, they won LA.
Won LA, right? And they tricked off 2 games because they didn't take that Houston team seriously. I hope that's not what we're looking at now. Could it doesn't look like the case, but Houston had found a way to tie it, and then Bird went ballistic in Game 5 and said they would not be coming back to Boston. They'll be enjoying their summer. And he came down there and ended their season. So essentially, that's what I'm looking for. The rest of this week as well. I want everyone in Dallas to enjoy their summer. Shout out to Sweet Georgia Brown. Shout out to Whataburger.
Not a sponsor.
Yeah, not. I missed that. That's nothing there too. I missed. We haven't said it in a while. Not a sponsor. But yeah, shout out to all those. Like you, it's time to enjoy your summer down there. Get all the barbecue, brisket you want because it's time to put y'all on the grill. It's a wrap. But yeah, but like I said, there isn't enough that can be said about what Holiday has been and his impact on the next 2 guys. So I want to get into the 2 best players on the team, even though Jason Kidd adamantly took Mike's position and DK's position and said, damn it, it's Jaylen Brown. Now, obviously, you guys weren't having gamesmanship. I think you guys believe that. He was just talking shit. So fine, whatever, cool. But either way, it's on wax. He said it. But in game one, they, combined for 7 assists. In game two, they combined for 19 assists. So just speak to their, improvement in the playmaking area. And then just really, is that the final thing that they needed in order to really become that complete duo that we've been looking to see them become?
Yeah, 100%. Again, I keep talking about last year in comparison because, I mean, it is really night and day. Like
Right.
the way that these two are playing, if you had a stat line or Tatum had a stat line of 18 points, 12 assists, 9 boards last year, that game, they probably got blown out. But the fact that, this year, and in particular in this game, their shots weren't falling. The easy shots that they want to take in the first half to make the the down the middle play available to them, they like jacking up those threes. They fake in, they drop back, and then they shoot the three. And what were they? They were 0 for 10 at one point in the first half taking threes.
Right. Yeah, combined.
But like that would have been 0 for 20 last year. What isn't talked about, or what should be talked about, is that they decided, all right, we're just going to push it. We're going to drive to the paint, and if it's available to us, we're going to go. There were a couple of times when Tatum and Brown both were fouled that were not called, but which is fine. Like, I'm okay with it if they don't call it either way, but that didn't happen.
Right. right, exactly.
But then, when they drive it and they find Derek White, they find Jrue Holiday, and because we used to get on Tatum for saying like he's just looking to make the pass, meaning like he doesn't want the ball. And that is the opposite of what he's doing right now.
Right.
He's literally trying to get as many defenders around him as possible to free up the rest of his team. And like you see Jaylen Brown doing the same thing. Them having 19 assists is great, but man, like I think them combining for like, was it four steals? That's better.
Yeah.
And because you and I have been talking about for 2 years, when those two want to, they can be locked down. Like they can shut your best player down.
Yep.
And no, it's relative. Like shutting Luka down means that he drops 23 on you in the first half and he drops 9 on you in the second half. Like that's lockdown. I'm so impressed with the way that Tatum still looks engaged, even when his shots aren't falling. Because that's the big thing. Now, I do think that he's something's wrong with his head right now, because his shots never looked worse, but it's not taking him out of the game like it would have every other season that he's been in the NBA so far. And to stop a run, JB, top of the key, drains that three last night, and it was just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I'm just gonna spoiler alert. I want him to be MVP. I do. No, but I do think that we're in a situation where, regardless of how much longer this goes, if the Celtics win, if Tatum goes off, the league's just going to want to give it to him, which is fine.
So
it's fine.
So spoiler alert. I'm not so sure, because if Holiday has another performance like he did in game 2, and he continues to defend, we're looking at what Andre Iguodala got his over Curry. That I'd give it to Jrue Holiday. Just to me, he's been the man. And I said last series it was going to be his series, and it was to an extent, because he made the play of the series, really the play of the year for the Celtics so far. Well, actually no, Derek White's block last night was the play of the year so far. But it's 1A, 1B.
Let's not forget Jaylen Brown's 3-point to send it to overtime.
Right, correct. Yeah. No, right. Well, I'm saying because it happened later in the series. That's what I'm saying. That was game 1. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, obviously, and then Brown gets 40 in game 2. So that MVP in the Eastern Conference Finals was obviously well deserved. But I just think like the way Holiday played last night and how he's played defensively, he's making a very strong case. But whether it's Holiday, whether it's Brown, whether it's Tatum, listen, I don't care if it was Payton Pritchard. Like I just want I want the title. I don't care how it looks. And that's another thing too, is like it's amazing to me. And once again, it's because of the ESPN's, the fuck that FS1's, and that any other major, media outlet, they're spinning the narrative on Tatum because of every player that they loved or wanted to be like when they fell in love with the game. It's like, yo, score 35 or you're whack. And I think about a line you said to me a few weeks ago that had me fucking livid in the moment, but it was right. And I was mad. So you shouldn't have been right about it, but you were. And I was pissed that you were right about it. And it was, I don't want Tatum to become a James Harden that plays defense. And I was like, initially, I'm like, that's fucking insane. But I'm just like, it sucks that made sense. And I hate that it made sense in the moment because it shouldn't have made sense. But it did. It did. And it's just like, people view him, basically they view him as being soft. And I'm just like, oh, okay, he's not getting. I'm like, but when he's got, if he had got 45, and this is the points that you usually make. If he had got 45, and they lost by 6 or 7, what would a response be?
Oh, the media. I mean, media would be wiping it all off their face. You know what I mean? Like they would just be the happiest they've ever been. If when the national media
45 in a
know,
loss, in a loss.
Yeah, the national media doesn't know what to do with
Not for Boston. They may do that for Luka and some other stuff. They would not be wiping up their face for 10 and getting 45 in the loss. Absolutely not. Shannon Sharp was like, it was like, Stephen A. Stephen A. That's empty calories. That's empty calories. And it's just like, really? Like but your boy in LA can get 45 in the loss. You can say, oh, that's Go James right there, boy. That's a real ball burner right there, boy. Really? So that's what I'm telling you. The standard is different. They would not be eating it up that he got 45 in the loss. Because once again, then they go crazy when he had 46 against Milwaukee and a game to go home. The man had 46 in their building and said, not tonight. Philadelphia found out too. And it's funny because I'm glad I'm on here with you because it's perfect that you're on this particular show. I even going back to their first really postseason run together, Jaylen and Jayson, when they both had 30 against Milwaukee, and we were like, oh, okay, like this is what the future looks like. Then it's bright. We've seen plenty of moments that he's risen to the occasion, and that's what I am burnt. It is like it's a burning desire to just see him get to that point and win it, because there's a lot of shit that they'll be able to say. You could talk about him being soft. You could talk about whatever word you want to use, but just make sure you add champion to that motherfucker. That's what I cannot wait. And believe me, I have the receipts are longer than a welfare line that I have. Believe me, I got receipts longer than a welfare line, and longer than my hair. Believe me, it is unbelievable. You have no idea. Yeah, I need this. Like, I need water. Like it is bad. It's bad. This has to happen. Please, this has to happen.
I just want to point out though, like the whole mentality here, because I believe that the national media and most fans, like myself, they don't really know what to do with a team that has 5 good players and wins in a team win. And that's all because of Michael Jordan. 110%, it's MJ's to blame. Because if you look at the teams beforehand, yes, Magic Johnson is the greatest point guard to ever grace God's green earth. That's what I believe.
Mm-hmm.
But like, that's the Showtime Lakers. They don't call it Magic's Lakers. Showtime.
Right.
Boston, it's the Celtics. Right? Like, it's Bird, Parrish, McHale. All great teams won before that. But then it wasn't the Bulls, it was MJ. And ever since then, it's been Kobe or Shaq. It can't be both of them, and they're going to force each other's way out. Like, it's been a star-dominated league where we had to pin it on them having a great player.
Except for the Spurs.
Except for the Spurs. Look,
So
look,
we become. I'm fine with that. I'm cool with that. If Tatum becomes a new Duncan that can shoot a three, I'm okay with that. Give me 5 rings. Okay, I'm fine.
5 rings all day.
Fine.
Right.
I'm cool with that. I'm totally cool with that. Totally.
But,
cool.
I mean, do you agree with the fact that team winning is like looked down upon now? Now there are ways to do it where you look like a dick, like LeBron did in Miami, right? But they won together. They went to 4 straight finals. They won 2. He then went to 4 more with Cleveland.
Finals.
Right. He went to 9 out of 10.
Right. Crazy. Fucking.
Right.
It's insane. But that's what I'm saying. Same thing with him, right? It's like, bro, like people would. I mean, once again, we clown too, so I'm not gonna make it seem like I was above that. I had my jokes too. But once again, in retrospect, dog, 9 out of 10 times in a decade, this man was on a team or led a team that was in the finals. That's insane. Win or lose, that's insane. That's crazy. That means that literally you had to go through him to win a championship. That's insane. And once again, I want to be that new wave. I want to be, and that's what's happened. 6 of the last 8 years, we've been in the conference finals. The East, either you're beating Boston or we're beating you to get to the finals. Let me be in that position. I don't want to be a first round exit. I don't want to be a team that maxes out the second round. Get me to the conference finals or the finals every year. I'm cool with that, because that lets me know you're in contention every single year. But to your MJ point, yeah, and once again, it's David Stern's fault too. David Stern, made sure that they pimped MJ to every market, and whether it was domestically in the U.S., but also internationally as well, and especially with the build of the dream team, and we'll speak about another dream team that's been put together that left a certain person off the list, but we'll get into that later on. So that's a big market tease for you there. But even with Jordan, he did not take the levels that he took until Scottie became the guy too.
And by levels, you mean he didn't win a playoff series without Scottie?
Well, that too, right? But I'm saying like when Scottie took that leap, right? I guess when they were losing, they kept losing to Detroit, right? Because Detroit was their Miami.
Yeah.
Say Detroit was their Miami, and you knew he was the best player, just like we know Tatum's been the guy, but it just meant he just could not get past them, and they were super physical with him, and you knew eventually he was going to get crowned, but he had to go through the gauntlet. And Detroit, Boston, those Cleveland teams, people forget, were really good then too. With Howard Williams and Craig Elo, Mark Price, and those teams, Brad Daugherty, who was Jordan's teammate at UNC back in the day. So he went through the gauntlet early in his career, but it wasn't until Scottie took that leap that he became the man completely. And once again, that gets lost in translation because we want to anoint Jordan and then diminish Pippen, or like you said, anoint Shaq or anoint Kobe and diminish the other teammates. Those Lakers teams don't win without Derek Fisher. They don't win without Robert Ory. They don't win without
right.
I'm once again, same thing. Keep it love. They can all say we don't get a couple rings without Robert Ory. That man, you want to talk about timely shots?
Yep.
Like that. What? Everywhere he went, he hit a shot that won them a game or two in the finals. Everywhere he went, that's insane. He is by far the best player of all time. It's not even close. Like I don't care what the numbers say. He is by far the best of all time. It's hands down. And I think he's 7-time champion. I think 7-time. Like, come on, crazy. But yeah, I know. I just think you need the team. And someone mentioned it to me earlier. So shout out for bringing this up. Shout out to G bringing this up to me. This is very reminiscent of the 04 Pistons right now. What we're seeing with this Celtics team. And once again, they had a run too. They went to 6 straight Eastern Conference Finals. They went to 2 NBA Finals. They won 1. That's a very successful run. Even if we had that, I take that too. It is hard to get there. It's hard to win. Like I don't know. That can't be emphasized enough. And once again, they're winning these games, or they won these last 2 games. And when Brown was pretty efficient in game 1, but he wasn't as efficient in game 2. But I'm like,
I don't know, 8 of 15 is not bad.
right, but I'm saying, but I think it was like almost 70%. And so compared to game 1, it was terrible, right? And jokingly saying that, but it was just like, yo, like I don't know, like we should be nervous that, or not we, but I'm talking about like just the collective NBA fans as a whole. Jaylen and Jayson have not had a great game together yet.
Nope.
And when that happens, you can rest assured there'll be nothing that anybody in Dallas can do.
I do want to peel back the curtain here, because I haven't had a real chance to go after you at all this year. Okay. It was a Discord on May 28th, right around 7 p.m. Hollywood Ray 1 says, and I quote, "If Tatum has a stat line like 6 for 22 with 18 points and their team wins, we're going to be clowning them."
Mm-hmm.
You clowning him right now?
No, and it's because he had the 12 assists. If it was 18 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, I would have felt a certain way. Because
really,
yeah, because my thing is impact the game in other ways. The 9 rebounds, that's the impact. The 12 assists, that's impact. So the 12 assists lets me know you're looking to get others involved. You're engaged in making sure that in that moment, he understood, or again, those 12 assists, he understood that the goal is not for Jayson Tatum to score. The goal is for the Boston Celtics to score. So because he understood that fully last night, his drive and kick game won that game for them last night. So that's where, I give credit where it's due. Now, were people clowning him on Twitter? I wasn't wrong, because it was plenty of people. Oh, he went 6 of 22. He continued to shoot bad. That's under 30%. So it's out there. It's out there. The hate is consistently out there. But once again, the 9 rebounds, the 12 assists speaks to his engagement, as you mentioned. So
I agree.
If it was 18 points, 4 assists, 4 rebounds, I'd have been like, yeah, if you're not going to score at a high level, you've got to impact the game in other ways. And I would like to think I'd been consistent with that. If I haven't, then I don't mind being brought to the carpet for that. But I like I said, the 12 assists and 9 rebounds changed my stance. Remember, I was pissed at him in game 3 in Indiana. Remember, I was hot. This was his fucking career. I was pissed. And I'm just like, and it wasn't necessarily about him. It was about, I knew what the discourse was going to be if he didn't eventually show up. Now, he did in the second half. He caught fire in the second half of that game, made, once again, that's when the playmaking really started to ramp up again. The behind the back pass to Al, a couple of passes to Holiday. That's where he started to really, make that shift, in my opinion, as far as making sure, hey, if my shots start falling, I'm going to be a playmaker, first. And so that's what it is. So yeah, like I say, he was getting me upset with that game, because I'm just like, no, like, he wasn't being aggressive at all. And that's my thing. He was still aggressive last night. It's just his shot wasn't falling. I'm okay with that. Once again, his idol, even though they won that game, his idol went 6 for 24 in the elimination game against our wonderful Celtics. And they won because of some wild calls. That's another show for another day. But he went 6 for 24. He did everything he could to give that game to Boston. Everything he could. Because it was Kobe, and he went down swinging. We love him. So I'm fine with that. But you have to impact that way. He's defended, he's rebounded, he's play made. I can't be mad at that. Like I said, you can't just be a scorer and then nothing else is going on. Like how Luka was in game 1. Luka had 30 points and then had 1 assist.
He always has 30 points. Yeah, I mean,
no, right. But I'm saying, but the 1 assist is not like him. That's why he was much better last night. Got more people involved, which is why the game was closer. If he's getting under 5 assists, that's almost a win, because the other teammates aren't getting involved. So use your teammates. We're penalized.
So would you rather 30 points, 1 assist, 3 turnovers, 30 points, 32 points, 11 assists, 8 turnovers?
I'm taking a little turnovers every time, because
that's what Luka had last night.
He had 8 turnovers, right? Yeah,
8 turnovers, yeah.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. you're costing your team too much when it happens. Once again, Tatum had 6 turnovers in game 1. So we're being objective here. Tatum had 6 turnovers. That's a lot. That's too high. Anything over 3 is a problem. Anything over 3 is a problem. And once again, you got high usage, it happens. But anything over, that 3 or 4 turnovers, because that's a lot. Once again, you're giving a good team another chance to score or get your team in foul trouble. And to me, like I said, I'd rather the low turnovers, because once again, that's keeping your team in the game. Turnovers are always a killer, and it almost never works out in your favor when you turn the ball over more than 15 times in the game. So the lower the turnovers, obviously, the better chance you have at maximizing your possessions offensively.
I mean, my boy JB had a fit of the Stanleys last night. He had himself 6 turnovers, but I was gonna say,
I didn't think he was as effective. But once again, some of those turnovers,
but 3 steals, so he made up for it.
No, 3 steals. But I'm saying but some of those turnovers happened getting fouled. Calling sorry. I don't know if he got called for. I think he did get called for a travel. That I didn't think it was a travel, but then when I looked at the replay, I was he was
travel.
He did move the pivot, cool. But so I was like at first, I was looking from the top, but it was like the crowd was going crazy, so I had to turn away. But when I saw the replay, I'm like, okay, that was a travel. But I mean, I guess, like I said, just like how all high scoring games aren't the same. I guess all high turnovers aren't the same either. But at the same time, they have to limit that because, like I said, another turnover could have resulted in a closer game. Remember what you said at the end of the game. Damn, I hate the run that's going on. Right, because they turned the ball 3 times in like 30 seconds. It was like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
It gave them hope where it was like, that game was over. They was up 14 with like 3 minutes left. But hey, they held them under 100 both games. And for them to be touted as the new greatest backcourt of all time, where Steph and Klay Thompson are still alive, was insane. But it just goes back to what we said earlier in the show. You have to stop being prisoners of the moment.
Right.
It's okay to give credit where it's due, but not standing there and just trying to out hot take one another. And like I said, I've been saying this. I've been calm all year because I'm just like I've seen what this could be, and they've done everything they're supposed to do so far. They're very close to getting the job done. And I don't view Luka in the same way I view Steph Curry.
No, one's the champion, one isn't. You can't.
No, but just even like Steph Curry, even from the jump, you're like when he started to catch fire, you're like, oh my God. Like from half court, he's open. Luka's a rhythm player like Tatum. It is fun to watch him when he gets it going, but he's not hitting 9-10 threes in a row like Curry can. That's what I'm saying. So no. I'm just I don't. It takes a lot for him to get going.
Tell you what though, that no look pass around KP out to the perimeter last night was fucking amazing.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. Oh, it was great. He's great.
He's got 3 of those a game when you're like, man, this guy is just different. I don't understand it because he doesn't move fast, but he just beats people and he knows how to read a defense. But before we go on to the next thing, just had a question because, you happen to be at the Garden for these events. Yep. Are we affecting Kyrie?
They've been on his head. Like I can't. There's no denying. They've been on his head. Like the fuck Kyrie chance to not they're not being pumped in. It's real. It's real. I do think I'm getting tired of the Kyrie sucks chance. That needs to change. Get a little more creative.
Well, he could suck because he said he was going to resign here and then left.
Right. It's also been 5 years. And once again, I was mad the first year myself. So I get that. It's been 5 years.
Dude, this is Boston. Who are we if we don't hold grudges?
True, but I'm trying to think of some other athletes that had left, and I don't even think we weren't even this mad at Ray Allen.
Oh, KG was.
No, I know. I'm saying the player, sure, but I
think the fans were.
I think but I'm saying, but fans were mad the first couple. I do remember that because it was like People were like, well, shit, if KG and Paul ain't fucking win, fucking win them either. Like that's kind of what they were on. But I was there for KG's jersey retirement ceremony, ironically against Dallas back in 2022. And to be there for that halftime show, to see when they introduced Ray Allen on the Jumbotron, excuse me, and that crowd went ballistic and all three of them hugged, and it was just like, all right. Because once again, in retrospect, I can't blame him. You wanted him to take a lesser role for Avery Bradley, who Avery Bradley wasn't better than him at that moment. Come on.
Also,
bro.
like you were like baiting him in trade talks for 2 straight years. Like,
Right. For OJ
It's
Mayo.
different.
For OJ Mayo, who once again at the time OJ Mayo was really good out of school. Sorry, I want to disrespect. He came out of USC. Now you see, like that's a rivalry. He came out of USC, excuse me. But it's just like you wanted him gone for them. Yeah, it was always trying to get ahead of the curve with Danny, always trying to make a deal to fleece somebody. And
Kyrie
it was crazy.
Kyrie is our grown-up version of Roger Clemens. That's what it is.
Okay, I can buy that. I could buy that. I need Roger.
Right.
Oh my
Right.
God. Oh,
I mean,
I remember being at my grandmother's house in that game 3. Oh my God.
They did that to him even when he came back. They did that to him even when he came back as a Houston Astros pitcher. And that was, 10 years later? So yeah, like we kind of hang on to shit. It's our thing. That's like you can't take that away from us.
I'm trying to. Is there any Patriots that had left that came back? We were like, I'm trying to think. Because Ree was only here for a year, so he didn't get that type of hate. But I'm trying to think of.
They didn't love Curtis Martin for a long time.
Well, that's because of Bill Parcells. You took him away.
Right. Terry Glenn.
Also because of Parcells.
R.I.P. Well, no, he was here till 2001.
I'm saying, but like Parcells painted the picture about Terry Glenn. When you called him man she on air,
Sally.
Right. I don't know. He dogged the man, and like I said, I think fans just took it and ran with it. But yeah, I guess when you put it in that perspective, I guess that's true. I just say to me, I feel like all that could have went away when they swept Brooklyn a few years ago. Like to me, that's when it was over for me personally. I was just like, okay, like I won that series badly. They beat him. I was like, okay, cool.
I hear what you're saying.
I'm good. I'm done.
But I promise you want this energy. And the only reason that you're getting this energy right now is because he left and we still haven't won. Like it's this prominent because he was here and he could now have left and destroyed an entire other franchise and he could still win a ring before you. That's why you're pissed off. Like you need to hold on to that venom because it was never as good as it was in 2003, 2004 here as a Boston Red Sox fan. Fell off a fucking cliff after that. And you don't want that to happen just from winning. You need to have those fucking rivalries. You have to have those people that you hate irrationally, respectfully. If you want to chant he sucks, fine. Just leave it at that. That's all you need to do.
Yeah. That's true. I guess. Well, Miami's always going to be like as long as Tatum and Brown are in Boston, Miami's going to be a villain. That's just we've learned that now. They faced each other too many times for it to be anything else. If New York stays good, we're going to get that eventually as well. It's really fun to get that this year. Hopefully we get that next year at some point in the playoffs. That would be great. So yeah, I see that. Celtics Lakers will always be a thing, whether the teams are good or bad. So yeah, you're right. Sports in general just thrive off rivals, whether it's individual players or teams. But like I said, I expect them to go crazy in Game 3 down there in Dallas. I wonder if JB or any of them throws a little jab at the Dallas crowd. I have been to that arena. I went there over my Christmas break. They can get loud, but it's not something where it's like it's not deafening in there. The food was great, but other than that, like it wasn't something where I was like, oh, this arena is super scary for a visiting team. Like
I would just say, like, don't give them any bulletin board material. And they've done a really good job of not saying stupid shit that will get taken the wrong way in the media this year. So like, just don't do that. Go in there, handle your business, and beat their asses. That's what you need to do. That's just Kyrie's gonna get 30. he's going to one of these games. You want to know what's going to hurt worse than him going 6 of 22 or whatever it was and having 18 points? It's him going 13 of 28 and having 33 points, and the outcome still being the same.
Yeah, I mean, so this is the thing, and I can't believe that we've been this far on the show without saying this, but we've tiptoed around it. But once again, we're trying to be rooted in fact here and not an opinion.
Speak for yourself.
No, it's a mix of both, obviously. You know, we try to lean over to being more rooted in fact. Luka and Kyrie have to be perfect for Dallas to win. Tatum and Brown don't have to be.
Right.
And that's been the biggest difference in these first 2 games. Like I said before early in the show, Derrick Jones unplayable. Gafford has been subpar. Lively's been subpar. Tim, I don't know what Tim Hardaway has done to Jason Kidd. I don't know. He has pictures of his family. I don't know. I don't know what happened, but he has literally been riding the bench. I've been there for the practices. Tim Hardaway hit like 15, 20 shots in a row, and you put Dante Exum in there over Tim Hardaway. You don't even give Tim Hardaway a shot to see if he can hit a few. Because Tim Hardaway gets you 20 off the bench easily. You saw it in New York. We've seen it, in Dallas in a few stints. Like he's not his father, but he gets the buckets. So you're lacking offense, and you put Dante Exum in there over Tim Hardaway, really? And over a Markieff Morris too. Like I don't get the strategy of Kidd right now, whether it's from the coaching sidelines or the podium. I think he is reeling right now, and he's trying to find whatever he could find, he's grasping that air right now. And once again, I'll say it again to stamp it, but Joe Mazzulla is coaching circles around this man. Once again, that's not a prediction; it's a spoiler. So it's like, hey, it is what it is. So, but speaking to one of his coaching points. The return of Kristaps Porzingis has been better than what people obviously expected. They had him come off the bench the first 2 games. Around the 6-minute mark yesterday, he seems to injure the other leg, so it wasn't his leg that he had got the strain on, but gives a great post-game speech after. But, so are you concerned at all about the injury? And if he is ready to go in game 3, would you still keep him off the bench?
Yeah, hell yeah. I am concerned about the injury. So yes, I think the fact that it's a different leg is actually a little scarier, right? That obviously means that through his PT, like, just like if you injure one side of your body, the other side tries to overcompensate. Right. So it puts a lot of strain on it. I think if he has the ability to come out the bench and play 20 minutes again, and he's healthy and he's moving around, he's not limping, then 20 minutes off the bench for him, like that's at least 12 points. Could be 25 points. Like It just depends on how it works. But the entire spacing of the floor changes when he's there. Like, and it's clear. That's why guys like Lively and like Gafford have been kind of rendered useless in this series, because the Celtics big men aren't like every other team's big men. They don't do the same thing. They will stretch you to the wing on offense, and they will block the shit out of it on defense. Right? Obviously, Porzingis more than Horford, but I think because of how kind of like boisterous he was after the game, it makes me think like he knows he's going to be okay and he can play, unless he's trying to psych out Kidd. Like Kidd was doing to us. So the Jaylen Brown's their best player, but I think all you need from him is 20 minutes where he's healthy. That's it.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Listen, I was ready to run through a fucking wall when he was out there. I was like, oh, I was turned on.
Rayshawn and he played emojis from the MTV.
Yeah, big time. I was like, I want to throw a wall for this man. Like that was, and once again, he knows it's away from him, letting him go in Cancun. So why not? And like you said, I think you said it the last time he was on. even if he's at 85%, you go out there. Like
Yeah.
this is no, and tomorrow once again, the beauty of it is, there was 2 games of rest, between between these games. Obviously, it's every other day. Well, no, it would be game 4 would be Friday, game 5 would be Monday. So even if he did, say if Dallas did find a way to win one of these next 2 games, he would get another couple of days of rest before game 5. So it was like, they would make sure that he gets that treatment. Seeing him walk in both times, there was no lip when he walked in coming into the arena both days. The only time the limp happened was when he had hurt whatever he hurt. Yesterday said overcompensating. And once again, as someone who's had a lower leg injury, that does happen. Like, you do start to lose your balance, and something's can kind of mess up in other places because you're just focusing on that one area, getting that area strengthened again. So I honestly think I think they were prepared that once that happened, it was like, win or lose this game, it's about game 3. So let's just set him. Let's chill. He was able to walk to the bench, so I was encouraged by that, because we did see that they showed it on TV. He was able to walk to the bench. So I just think, to me, my concern level is probably like at a 4 right now. Like, I don't think it's a 7 or 8. Like, I think that's a little too too hyperbolic. But yeah, about a 4, 5 at the most. And like I said, I hope that the treatment that he gets the next 2 days propels him to give that 20 to 22 minutes. Also, too, we talked about how Kyrie would feel coming back to Boston. This is his chance to come back to Dallas, where you talk with them fans can't stand him, right?
Yep.
So now he's the villain in that building, and just like he did against New York earlier this year, when he hit a few threes to put them up in games. Actually, the first season of the game, first season of the first game of the season, excuse me, hit that 3, that put him up for good in that game. So, what better way to script it for him to come in there and hit a few threes when it mattered most to put them away? Like that would be great. And I know Matt fans would be sick, because it's like, wait a minute, like, this man, quote unquote, quits on us. So they feel like he quit on them. Comes to Boston and they said they feel the same way. They're like, wait a minute, he had a chance to get a ring before Luka, and it's like, you couldn't win here with us. Like, so it's like the storyline is right itself. But I just think, to me, he's gonna come in motivated like he was in game 1, and to me, I don't want Joe to coddle him. I felt like he was cooking a little bit, and then Joe sat him, and I'm like, nah, like, you gotta, like, outside of like when he ended up getting hurt, but I was like, you gotta let him rock and get back into the game. They don't have an answer for him. And once again, Jason Kidd, none of your guards are you. Jason Kidd, you were one of the best on-ball defenders this league has ever seen at 6'4".
Yep.
I mean, you were incredible. You could guard 1 through 4 before that really was a thing. You were a general at the highest level in basketball terms. None of your guards can do what you do. So the fact that you have Josh Green and Exum and these guys trying to guard Kristaps Porzingis, my brother in Christ, it's not a good look. It's not a good look. So I strongly suggest that you get it figured out, because it's looking real slow right now. As my students would say, it's looking real slow. So either you make an adjustment, or, like I said, it's going to be Cancun on 3. So that's just that's just what it is. So, but speaking of that, like I said, it's almost like you and I have done this before. What adjustments do you want to see there, right? Because obviously we're going to game 3. It's the next 2 obviously are in Dallas. So just what adjustments do you want to see on either side, right? Because that's not just talking about the Celtics, but what adjustments do you think can happen or will happen in game 3?
Well, it's not so much an adjustment on the Celtics part. It's that just don't let the moment get too big for you when you're in Dallas, because I do. It's going to be loud. I know it's going to be loud, at least for the start of game 3. They're going to come out firing, like the home team, especially down 0-2 when they come back home. Like, it's going to be loud. just don't play their game. Do what you have done for the majority of the quarters so far in this finals, and make them play yours. Because, again, another spoiler for you: they can't beat you at your game.
Right.
They have a shot at beating you if you try and play theirs. Like if you start trying to double Luka, then you're gonna lose. Don't do that. You don't need to do that. It's fine. Like let Luka get his 35. Let Kyrie get his 30.
Right. Exactly.
It still shouldn't be enough.
Right. Correct.
For Dallas though, it's like, listen, I think your best chance of beating the Celtics is to try and do to Jaylen Brown what you have done to Jayson Tatum, and put 2 and 3 people on him. Like, you need to force Tatum to beat you, one way or the other, and just see if he can. Now, as a Celtic fan,
okay, keep going. Cook.
I think if you do that, he's going to have a Luka-like night and drop 23 on you in the first half. And do you have the horses to compete, even if he drops off in the second? I don't think you do.
Nope.
So, and you can't. Dallas cannot man up this team. So, I mean, they've done a really good job of taking Jayson Tatum out of the game, and they've lost 2 games. So, try and take Brown out and see if the result changes. I don't know. I don't think it will, but it's your best shot.
So, hey, Rayshawn God, Jared Dudley, who was a BC alum, he's on the coaching staff. I didn't know that until I saw him behind in the locker room. Jay Kent, whoever else was on that staff. Listen to my good friend here. We beg of you to guard Tatum 1-on-1. I'm praying that you do. I want you to know, fella, I prayed for this. I'm not the most spiritual guy. But
what else could they do?
I prayed for this. I'm gonna mess up my promo. But it's like I pray. I want you to know I prayed for this. It's like I prayed for your downfall. So it's just like I need this to happen. So please, yes, throw the kitchen sink at Jaylen Brown. Please.
Is it outrageous? Like, what would you do if you're Dallas?
I listen. I have never in my life wanted you to be more right. I would love it. I would love for that to happen.
So they're not going to do that.
For one, listen, we all know that it was mind games that he was playing, right? Like, the way they're covering Tatum lets us know what they think of Jayson Tatum. But let's be real. So I mean, we can joke and troll what we want, but that's the nature of the beast, right? That being said, there has been a lot of single coverage on Jaylen, which to me is still also crazy. Like think about the play that sealed the deal, right? When he got to his left hand. He got to his left hand and he scored with his left hand, to get that final bucket and make it 105-98. That was single coverage. And I'm like, how disrespectful. It's as disrespectful as what, mind you, hey, remember what Jaylen said, sag off Jaylen Brown. But I want to implore them to do what Jaylen said to Tatum. Sag off Tatum. Once again, hey, Tatum's not a top 5 guy. He's not a top 5 guy, right? If he's not top 5, if he's not top 10, if he's not the guy that y'all say he's not that guy, why is he being triple teamed? Why is he being double teamed and triple teamed as soon as he catches it? Not on the drive. As soon as he catches it, whether it's mid post, whether it's at the elbow, whether it's at the 3, he's drawing 2 immediately. How do you do that if you're not the guy? How? I would like to know. I really want to know. Please, I hope that we get a chance to put this on TikTok and on YouTube. Please, I would love to know, because it's amazing all the armchair coaches that say, well, he's not this, he's not that. Well, explain to me the strategy, because we are watching the same game. There's 2 and 3 being dropped on him every single time. Once again, not an opinion. That is a fact. That's a fact of life. Yeah, that's a fact of life. Just saying. And there's a lot of dummies out there. Yeah, I know you like that one. So that's just that's just what it is. So That's just how I feel. But I'm hoping. But as far as but now let me be let me be a little more serious.
Yeah, if you could just stop shitting on my take for a second and give yours.
No, I wasn't trying to say no. I no. But what you said. I want that to happen. I do. I firmly want that to happen.
Well, yes, because as a Boston fan, you think that would spell Dallas's demise. I was trying to approach it as what else could Dallas do to help them win a game?
Well, what else they can do? I mean, we talked about a little bit earlier. We talked about a few moments ago. They offensively. So one thing I said, being more serious, offensively, they don't have another gear. They don't, right? It's Luka dribble, Kyrie dribble, and then see if they can create some type of magic, pun intended. That doesn't always happen, right? So if it doesn't happen, Derrick Jones is not breaking you off the dribble. PJ Washington is not breaking you off the dribble. Daniel Gafford is not breaking you off the dribble, and neither is Derek Lively, right? So they don't have the ball handlers to do that. They don't have that skill set there, right? Where Holiday is good with the ball, Brown's good with the ball, Tatum, even Horford, right, can get you into the offense at the top of the key, right? So they have 5 guys on the floor at all times, even when they get to the bench that can handle the ball, right? So that's what separates Boston from a majority of teams. That being said, Dallas they need more shooting out there. I think they were 6 of 26, I think, from 3. And remember, they had, I think in game 2 against Minnesota, they were 5 of 18 from 3, and they beat Minnesota out there. And I was like, whoa, like that's scary because they hadn't done. I was like, you can't lose to a team that had 5 threes. So I'm glad that last night they only had 6 threes. We still beat them by 7. And once again, we shot under or just over 25% from 3. So the Boston Celtics survived the bad shooting game where the game 2 thing was open on the platter and you still lost. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Like,
yeah, I'm with you.
Don't, once again, you may still figure it out and get one at the crib. The Celtics have been the best team on the road, not just in the regular season, but also in the playoffs. They haven't lost. And I've said this to you before, Mike. I've said it to Dave. I've said it to anyone that listens to me. You may not trust them at home, and that's fine. You have your reasons, but I damn sure trust them on the road. I fully trust them. They have showed me, and this even the year they went to the final a couple years ago. I think they closed the Miami series on the road, right? They won in Golden State, even I know they lost it, but they won in Golden State. And who did they play? They won in Milwaukee, right? And then I forget who they played. Oh, and then they won in Brooklyn. So it was like they're good. They for some reason, and I think maybe because people are not on top of their heads saying like, make a free throw, make my parlay win. Like it's not any of that. It's on the road. It's just like, okay. And truth be told, there's a lot of Celtics fans on the road too. Celtics fans do travel. I expect them to be there.
Well.
They travel really well. So I fully expect the Green to be there. I do know Mark Cuban threatened to take season tickets away if they gave him tickets up to Celtics fans. So that's cool. But well, no, I mean I love that. I love that. That's great. Like we're Grossberg should do the same thing if that was the case. But so I get that. But yeah, I just think to me, offensively, they haven't reached another gear. And if the 3 shots not falling, once again, they don't have enough guys that can break you down off the dribble to really make it a game. So, but as far as the Celtics goes, continue to move the ball. Continue to move when you don't have the ball, right? So everything doesn't have to be 5 out.
Right.
You could cut to the middle, as you mentioned. You could do a backdoor cut, aka the Princeton offense from back in the day. So there's other ways to affect the game without having the ball. So if you literally just keep doing that and playing solid defense, you will have a 3-0 lead come Wednesday. And it's once again, and it'll be all but over. Because like I said, I just, to me, you're not winning 4 straight, or you're not beating them 4 out of 5. Even Dallas found a way to win a couple of games, like you're not beating them 4 out of 5. So it's not happening. And it's only because, like I said, I don't trust. And this is why, and I wish Dave was here tonight, but this is why I told him, and I wasn't speaking emotionally. Once again, I haven't spoken emotionally all year. I said it. I've been very rational. I said, hey, Dallas is going to get to the finals, but I said they're a great matchup for us. I'm not don't fear them, because I was like, what exactly what I thought was going to happen has, like, almost to a T. It's almost like I wrote the shit out myself. It's unbelievable. You know, it's been absolute cinema. Like, it's been great. Oh, I'm hoping that, like I said, that my new movie, starring the 64 and 18 Celtics, is a smash hit, and that we continue to get great reviews.
Love it.
So that's just where I'm at. But let's just do some predictions as far as maybe scores for Game 3, and then we'll get out of here.
All right, so Game 3, I have the Celtics winning 115-102.
Okay.
I do have this going a gentleman's sweep, though. I think
Okay.
I actually would like, obviously, would love for them to sweep. I think there's nothing more that I would love more than us hoisting our 18th trophy in front of Mark Cuban, in front of Kyrie and his home crowd, and have Porzingis be a big thing. But I think it comes back here and we'll close it out. I think it's Monday.
So yeah, the fan in me would love to see them celebrate out, here, because obviously I'd be working it, get to hold the rope, see the, confetti fall, it'd be great. The villain in me says get the brooms out. It's time. It's time. This ends Friday night. I'm being definitive. I'm not. I'm standing on that once again. It comes back to harm me. So be it. I've been right.
Leave no doubt.
I've been right about a lot of shit all year with this. They get it done Friday night. It's time. Better team is coming home. They've been not a team. They've been the team all year. And once again, in the words of one of my favorite rappers of all time, Big Daddy Kane, get the job done. I work, baby. So for Money Mike, Marcangelo, I'm Hollywood Rayshawn Buchanan. Until next time, we'll see you. Peace.
Hi, I'm Sherilyn Fenn from Twin Peaks. What did you do on your last Saturday night?
Did you hear something?
Toilet paper.
There's none. Nada. The reserves have gone dry. People are hoarding it. I should have done that.
They're all out of hand sanitizer at my Target.
Mark, when did you last watch the news?
We are getting reports of forced quarantines in China, Japan, and now Italy.
You're cutting onions in half and putting them around your apartment.
Yes, exactly. It kills the COVID.
Excuse me?
Let's go. Let's go. Get in.
Vamos, rápido.
Have you ever driven one of these?
Never.
I'll drive, ladies.
I've got the keys.
Excuse me, I'm lost. I'm looking for my wife. I got turned around.
Join me, Eric Roberts, Jennifer Elise Cox, and Ed Asner for The Last Saturday Night, an Electrocast podcast. You'll love it. Electrocast. Electrocast.